Good Wednesday evening again, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Tailgate Talk Nebraska. We are back after a 1 week vacation, not really vacation, but we had some sickness within our little family here, and so we had to take a week off. But we want to welcome you all back. We're going to try to fit a bunch in here tonight in the hour that we have with you. With us via satellite from Colorado. Are you in Colorado tonight, Brian?
Yes,
Sorry.
I am.
Um, Brian Denton out there with us. The overrated one down on the end, Braden Cook Long. The old school man right here in Mr. Jeff Green in his house. And of course, no introduction, the GOAT. Well, guys, what a difference 2 weeks make. We're going to kick it off college football here. And 2 weeks ago, we were talking about some of the better teams in college football. One of those that appeared with everybody on that one, the University of Miami, the Hurricanes. And now, after
2 weeks,
2 weeks, 2 out of the last 3 games, Miami, they're in trouble. They were looking at maybe a possible first round bye in the college football playoff. Now, they got a lot of work to do to make the playoffs, even guys.
yeah. Yes,
They got to win the
ACC.
conference now.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not getting in otherwise.
Brian?
As you guys knew, I didn't really buy it up until, a couple weeks ago, I was like, all right, they might be pretty good. It just shows this year you don't know what the hell's going to happen. Miami looked really good, looked like they were going to dominate all the way through the playoffs, and then they dropped two. So we'll see what happens. Louisville looks pretty good in that ACC right now.
Virginia.
Virginia, yeah.
Well, Virginia's the highest ranked team.
Yeah, and a lot of people have Virginia in the college football playoff out of the ACC right now. We started off the year Florida State, Miami, Georgia Tech. They were all up there, but now they've all kind of fallen off the board, and Virginia's climbing. And we thought that was kind of a fluke that they beat Florida State that night. And now maybe it was for real. What do you guys think?
The ACC's so up and down. It's really hard to judge. I was a Miami guy. I'm just,
I was too.
I'm beside myself. I don't even know what to think about it.
Yeah.
They have an ACC championship game that has to happen. And Miami might not even make that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have to make the game first.
Yeah, they have to make the game to get in. Because Virginia and Louisville seem to be on a collision course for it.
Yep.
Well, let's just be fair. Virginia almost lost to North Carolina.
Yeah.
That was so close. But yeah, they almost lost to North Carolina, and then this would be a whole nother story.
But Brian, if you've watched recently, Belichick has now figured out, he had a few phone calls with Harbaugh, has now figured out how to cheat in college like he did in the pros.
Yes.
So you might see North Carolina start getting some momentum and start maybe winning a couple games here and there. So they did last week. So
Belichick gate is coming.
yeah, I mean, it was kind of weird because that quarterback that started for North Carolina last week looked a lot like Tom Brady. I don't know, but it could have very well been. So, well, here we go. 4 undefeated teams are left. 2 out of the Big Ten, Indiana, Ohio State, top of the board there. Texas A&M sitting third, the only undefeated team left in the SEC, and BYU, undefeated. But BYU has a tough road ahead of them coming this week. They travel to Lubbock, college game day down there, Texas Tech, and I don't know if BYU can win that one. I'll give them a legitimate shot at doing something in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But I just don't see.
It's hard to tell what BYU is. Because they're undefeated.
Yep.
But they ain't played nobody.
Right.
I mean, Texas Tech will be a test. We'll get to see.
Yeah.
We'll know a lot more next week.
I really think, you look at that game Tech lost early in the year, or not early, but a couple weeks ago to Arizona State. They're playing without their starting quarterback.
Yeah.
And they are a completely different team without their starting quarterback.
Yeah. And they still about won that game. They gave it to Arizona State at the end of the game.
And you look last week, we were talking kind of how Cincinnati was on a roll. They go out, they play Utah, and Wisconsin's small, demolished out there.
Yeah.
So that Big 12, you can say it's wide open because you do have some teams at the top there, but I think Texas Tech is the cream of the crop out of that Big 12 right now. I really don't. I think that Arizona State game was kind of a fluke. Their one loss. They move
Not
on.
necessarily a fluke. I mean, like you said, they were on their second string quarterback.
Right.
They had things.
Yes.
There were reasons that was an off game.
Yep. Now let's move to another undefeated team, the only one out of the SEC, and Texas A&M. Do you see them running the table this year and taking it out?
I still am not a believer in Texas. Texas A&M. I just don't know why. They've proven that they are decent. I have no hope. I'm not a believer. I'm just not a believer.
Well, that last game of the year, they have to travel to Austin, and I know Jeff is not a Texas believer, but I watched that Texas Vanderbilt game last week, and if Texas can play like they did in that game, Diego played well. Diego played very well for Vanderbilt in that game, and Vanderbilt's a good team, not a great team, but they're a good team.
Yeah.
And Texas handled that game pretty well. And that defense, if they can play like that, I think they can give A&M a run that last game of the year.
I agree.
I'm not saying Texas is good enough to make the CFP yet.
Trash in my ear.
Let's get Jeff's take on Texas.
Well, they're overrated. You got a quarterback that's got a big name, but a weak arm. You got a coach down there that, he needs to go back to being an assistant somewhere. That guy almost lost to Vanderbilt because of how he's calling his defense.
Mhm.
I mean, he played soft all day, kind of gave him the middle. They're lucky they got out of that with a win. I don't agree that they handled that game. I think Vanderbilt was on the edge. One or two big plays, and they win that game.
Right.
They gave it a shot. They did.
Now, let me ask you this. From what we saw at the beginning of the year with Arch Manning, Brian, do you feel like he's playing better now and he's kind of getting a little bit of a rhythm? I'm not saying that he's Heisman Trophy candidate, but he is playing better than he did at the beginning of the year.
Yes, he is playing better than he did at the beginning of the year, which was kind of surprising because when he came in last year, he looked good.
Yeah.
So it really surprised me that he struggled early. Is he the number one pick still? No, I don't think so.
He'll be back in college one more year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's going back. He needs it.
To me, I think it's a foregone conclusion. He will be back another year. But he is playing better than what he was. I will say that he does.
I think Sarteesian's calling plays that are making him putting him in better positions.
Right.
Yeah.
He at the beginning of the year he thought he had a Heisman Trophy type quarterback that could do anything, and he opened up his playbook and it shot him in the foot. Now he's closed that playbook up, simplified some things, and now Arch can work within his means.
Yeah.
You have to look at the two losses to Texas, though, is the number one Ohio State that hasn't lost a game. And then you have to look at Florida's not the greatest, but it's at the Swamp. Big hype. I still think they're in the talk. I still think they're right there.
Well, they're not.
I think
I mean,
they are.
Purdue's gonna walk them. That's gonna be a woodshed beating. Texas A&M, they're foaming at the mouth for that game. They can't wait to go into Austin and put a stomp on that ass.
Back to your original question, Derek. I don't think Texas A&M gets through unscathed.
Yeah.
I just don't see it. It's either going to be late in the season or that SEC championship game. I think is where they're going to get stung.
I think you're right about the SEC championship game. Alabama wins the SEC this year. Like I said all along.
Yeah, Alabama's schedule on the way out is pretty cake. I'm gonna say that right now. They don't have a lot left.
They still got their Middle Tennessee State game.
Yeah, I know, and they've got Auburn, which Auburn just fired Hugh Freeze. They're without a coach again. A lot of coaching jobs out on that Southeast Conference now.
Yeah.
And I think LSU is who they have this week, but LSU is not that team this year. And their hard games are at home. So, yeah, I don't see Alabama losing another game and getting to the SEC championship. And probably playing A&M. So I guess at that point in time, we'll find out if A&M is legit or not. But the only other two undefeated teams in the nation right now, both residing in the Big Ten, the Ohio State Buckeyes and the Indiana Hoosiers. Guys, I'm going to ask you, out of those two teams, which one do you think's the best?
I think Ohio State is more talented. I think Indiana has the better coach. And their kids play with a lot more heart.
Now let's look. Brian, Ohio State, what would you say is their big win this year? Texas?
Yeah, and look where like they
Who
ended
else?
up losing to Florida.
Who else is their big win?
They don't have another big win. They haven't played anybody besides Texas. So it's
They beat them 14-7 at home
Yeah.
in the first game of the year. And besides that, I think they've played, I'd have to look it up, but they haven't played anybody that I know of that's been in the top 25.
I don't think so.
no.
And so you look at that, and what has Indiana done? Yeah, the first part of their schedule, the non-con, wasn't that tough. But at the time they went into Illinois, Illinois was ranked, and they put a rubbing on Illinois in that game.
Yes.
They travel out to Eugene and beat them by 10 points. Their closest game of the year was a game at Iowa. Iowa, they beat them by 5, which I don't know if maybe Iowa's better than we thought at the beginning of the year. Their defense is always good, and that Gronowski, that quarterback,
They're putting points up.
yeah, they are putting
They're
points
putting
up.
points up.
And you can't take anything away from the Hawkeyes. And Brian, you're not going to like to hear this, so you might close your ears, but I'm calling it right now. Iowa beats Oregon this weekend, straight up. I'm saying it's going to be by 3 to 5 points, because who's Oregon's big win on the year? Penn State?
They got good losses. They got a good loss.
They got a good loss, but I'm not trying to take anything away, Brian. I'm not trying to whatever, but Oregon hasn't played anybody yet either. And they got a double overtime win against a Penn State team that maybe wasn't as good as we thought.
I agree with you. I'm not really sure where Oregon is at this point. Iowa's gonna be tough because they have a good defense. We know
They
that.
had that game.
And let's be honest with you, like that loss to Indiana at home,
Mm-hmm.
that wasn't a very good loss at home to Indiana.
But I
I
think
think
Indiana's better than what we thought.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the year, everybody was hyped up about them because of last year, but we didn't know what they were going to have come year 2 under Signati. But they have looked like one of the strongest teams in the nation right now, in my opinion.
They're well coached.
Mm-hmm.
They're talented at the right spots.
So
They
you
play
can't say
fast.
it's not a good loss, Brian, but yet losing by 10 at home
yeah.
is tough.
Yeah, and the reason I say that is because it was in Eugene. If it wasn't in Eugene, if it was in Indiana, I wouldn't have really cared as much,
Right.
about that loss. I think Oregon's going to have a little bit too much offensive power for Iowa, but I think it is going to be close. I don't see it being a 2-score game by any means. And in some polls, Iowa's in the top 25.
Yeah.
So
And like
they're
I
not
said,
a bad.
that's just my opinion of thinking Iowa will beat Oregon this week. But again, it goes back to it. Iowa played Indiana tough. They
Yeah.
really did.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen.
Iowa's defense keeps them in games.
Yeah.
Always have.
Yep. They don't win pretty, but they win. So it's one of those things. And, you talk about Iowa, and the Huskers still have to play them at the end of the year. Here in Nebraska, Dylan Raiola out for the year, TJ Lateef coming in. And the other night in that game against USC, Lateef didn't look like he was ready for that spot. He did not look like he was ready for that spot. He might be a faster runner than Raiola, but if you have to rely on him and Emmett Johnson running the ball and teams are going to put 9 in the box against you,
Yeah.
he's got to figure a way to pass. I think he was 5 for 7 for 14 yards or something like that the other night.
Yeah. He put the ball on the ground 3 times.
Yeah,
Um,
he tripped Emmett on that last play.
tripped him. He went to the wrong side on the handoff twice.
Mm-hmm.
You know, being a backup at this stage in the game, you should at least know the playbook.
Right, but here's my thing. Is this a player problem or is this a coaching issue of not getting enough reps in practice to where you are ready when your name is called?
We don't know.
Yeah,
We don't know because you would think all places rules been that he'd be getting a third of the reps,
mhm.
just like any backup does.
And he said he did in that press conference. He said he's been taking. I mean, he takes. He said a percentage of it that he takes with the first team in practice every single day.
I don't know, fans, what do you think out there? Is TJ Lateef ready? Hit us up if you're watching right now. Send a message on Facebook. Let us know. Is he ready or not?
And this is kind of karma, isn't it? We've had 3 straight weeks of listening to our fan base talk about maybe we should give TJ a try. Maybe we should give TJ a try. Maybe we should give TJ a try. At halftime, my brother-in-law said to me, "Man, maybe we should give TJ just a series or 2." Right when he got hurt, I said, "Well, you get your wish. We're gonna do it louder now."
Well, Brian, I'm going to ask you this question. They were talking about how you had the high-powered USC pass offense against the number 2 pass defense in the nation, Nebraska. And we got gashed on the run again. I mean, they had, 10 or 12 rushes for over 10 yards in that game?
Our defense played well enough to win that game.
They did.
They absolutely played well enough to win that game.
They did.
They held them under 150 yards passing.
Right.
And you talk about the 10 plays that they got over 10 yards on that, but those didn't work into drives. Those were a big play here, a big play there.
Right.
They caused 2 turnovers. They got to the quarterback 4 times. It was 4 times.
Something like that.
Stats, and then USC being USC, cocky, West Coast type players. They got 4 personal fouls on top of it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, no, the defense played well enough to win that game. USC did exactly what USC does, play like a bunch of punks. If Bro was down, we win that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro was just setting up just like the Maryland game, just like the Northwestern game. And he was going to come in, he was going to call the troops, make a drive, and be done with it.
I agree with you on everything there, but what I guess I'm asking is our defensive line, because that was their 3rd string running back. If we let's look at Penn State, who has 2 really good running backs and a good offensive line. Are we going to be able to hold them?
No, absolutely not.
No.
And Iowa, they can run the ball. And, that's what scares me because it's like, yeah, we got our 6 wins on the year now.
Yeah, that might be our last win.
We're going out to play a UCLA team that didn't look that great their last time out, which they were playing Indiana. So I guess.
But they're a hell of a lot better team than they were at the beginning of the year.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
I honestly think Nebraska wins one more game on the way out.
Which game?
Probably UCLA is probably the best shot. Other than that, I don't see them winning another game. I honestly thought they were going to lose the Northwestern.
No.
They should have.
We should have. We had that game right where we wanted them. Full of hopes and dreams and ready to squash it down the stretch.
Now, I'm going to throw this scenario out to you. TJ Lateef comes in, plays these last 3 games plus bowl game.
Yep.
And let's just say Nebraska wins these last 3 under TJ. And he all of a sudden, he looks like the recruit they brought him in to look like. Do you have a quarterback controversy at the beginning of the year next year?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So then, does one of them say, go to Rule and say, hey, am I going to be your starter next year? Do you see one of them hitting the transfer portal if they don't think they're going to get that starting position?
If TJ wins the next 3 games or 4 games, right? Raiola's uncle gets fired immediately.
Does Dylan transfer?
That will decide who our quarterback is next year.
I know, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, you know, because TJ, if he, okay, and he has a lot of hype around him. He was a big time recruit coming out of Compton.
Absolutely.
But if he goes out and he plays well these last 4 games, and you know, maybe he just wasn't ready the other night. Now they're putting some packages in for him. And let's just say they go out and score 35, 40 points next week against UCLA, and they go to Happy Valley and they beat Penn State. And Iowa comes in here, we beat them, and we go to a big bowl game and we win it. Now all of a sudden, all the offseason talk is going to be what? Who's our starting quarterback?
Yeah. Like I said though, if that happens, we fire Raiola's uncle and get us a real offensive line coach.
And that's a bad problem to have, or that's a good problem to have.
absolutely. And then
Right.
You know,
and then Raiola decides if he stays or not.
Right.
that situation only makes Dylan better.
Both of them actually.
Both of them better.
You know, them going into a quarterback controversy and actually having to earn their spot, I think that would be good for both of them.
I think it would be, but in this day and age of college football, college athletics, it's about the money and it's about playing time. And with the transfer portal the way it is now and the rules the way they are now, a lot of these guys are like, oh, well, if I'm not the starting quarterback, I'm leaving. Or if I'm not the starting running back, I'm going to go somewhere else where I can be right away. It may be a non-power 4 conference team that they go to. And I'm not saying either one of those two aren't good enough to go play at a power 4, but yeah, it's.
But you're right. I mean, these kids got no loyalties to the schools.
No.
They have no loyalties to the coaches. I mean, they barely played for the love of the game.
Yep.
They're there for the wrong reasons.
You know, if this would have been going on for a long time, Eric Crouch would have left Nebraska.
Oh,
Because when Bobby Newcomb was named the starter that year, Crouch already left school. He was done. He wasn't going to play anymore.
yep.
And Solich went, drug him back, put him as a starter, and never let Jamal Lord see the field. And next year, Lord looked horrible. But, you know,
That's the thing about the situation too.
it's just, I don't know. Do you guys think Latif is ready?
No,
I wish, but no.
I had high hopes, but he looked like a deer in the headlights.
He's a college
Yeah,
version.
you know,
College version of Lamar Jackson.
what's your favorite moment when you played softball or baseball?
My favorite moment?
Yeah.
There's a bunch of them, but I can remember when I heard.
In the situation.
I remember when I hit my first home run in college. Felt good.
You know, it's like when there's 2 outs, runners on the corners, you're stepping up to bait. Someone gets nervous, some get up, some get excited for the opportunity.
Oh, I love those opportunities.
And I don't think TJ is that guy. I don't think he's a up for the moment guy. He had possibilities. He should have came out there and took control of that huddle. I mean, if that had been me, I'd have, hi guys, look what we got here. We got this little situation. We got punch one in. I mean, this would have been excitement, and I would have been thrilled to be out there. He looked scared to death. It looked like he would have ran me. He would have ran behind the tent if he could have.
You know, and Brian, I don't know what your thoughts are on this, but I think Nebraska is going to have to rely a lot more than they have all year on Evan Johnson now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what does that do? That makes them one-dimensional. It's going to be easier to beat them at that point. You know, they don't have the threat of the throw down the field because honestly, Nebraska's receivers aren't good enough to get separation. That doesn't help. So, like I said, I'm sticking to it. I think Nebraska maybe wins one on the way out. I just don't see it without Raiola.
I think what you're gonna see Latif when he does go back to pass. He's not gonna sit in that pocket. So I've been watching all year, watching the hits Raiola has taken. And he's like, man, I come from Compton. I know what happens when you get hit. I ain't gonna stand in here and do anything. and he's gonna run a lot. Now, is that good? Because if you've got your receivers going out, and Latif is an athlete, don't get me wrong, he is an athlete. If he takes off and starts running, can that open some things up? Then you gotta drop some guys back and spy him or whatever. And if you go one-on-one, maybe he's good enough to make you miss. I don't know. That's what I'm looking at. I think that's the kind of package Nebraska's going to put in.
The
Well,
thing is, it changes the offense right now. Right now, we passed this to open up the run for Emmett. Now we're going to have to run the ball to give TJ time to pass. And our offensive line, I don't think is ready for that.
Yeah.
I don't think our team is ready for that. The pass was opening up Emmett's ear. That's now gone.
Yeah.
well, and
The
then
only
they
hope
got
on the Nebraska side is that now with the USC loss, you're just playing for a better bowl game. A loss is expected almost all the way out. So if that's what's expected, who gives a shit what the score is at the end of the day? Just they're playing for a better bowl game. They have nothing to lose. Now, if we're going into we just beat USC, we have 2 losses, we're still little hope of a miracle. It's a different story. But at this aspect, we have there's nothing to lose. There's absolutely nothing to lose.
Well, no,
And that's what we're
we're
gonna see.
looking forward to these 3 games.
Yes.
So now we're scared.
I think between Raiola going out, Nebraska's offensive line, and their weak run defense, that's going to be hard for them to win any more than one. Because, like you said, Derek, Penn State's just going to run it down their throat. Iowa's just going to run it down their throat, take time off the clock. Them two, I think, are for sure losses, honestly. But I don't know. It's going to be uphill battle for Nebraska on the way out.
Yeah.
Well, college football, we're getting down at CFP. The first rankings came out this week.
Yep.
And there's 2 teams in that top 12 right now. I said one of them earlier, Oregon, Iowa. I feel like Iowa may win that game. And I think another one of those teams that we talked about earlier, I didn't mention it then, goes down this week. And I think it's Texas A&M. They have to travel to Columbia to play Missouri. Missouri's not a great team.
But they're right here. They're still
And they're
still in the hunt.
they're in the top 25, but Missouri's had a couple close losses this year, or not close, but I mean, they've hung in games. Alabama,
Said Bama was close.
they were close with them until the 4th quarter, but again, I don't know if I'm sold on A&M yet, and I could see Missouri taking them down. So we'll see how that all goes. The only other real big games, BYU, Utah, we kind of covered that, or BYU, Texas Tech, we kind of covered that one earlier. And you've got the Texas A&M at Missouri, and
That's really it.
that's pretty much it. I mean, you don't really have a whole. Well, Oregon and Iowa are top 25 teams in some polls. Some Iowa's not quite in there yet, but
On mine, I was 20.
are they?
Mm-hmm. On ESPN, it has it Oregon 9, Iowa 20.
Well,
So
so
ranked matchup.
Brian, we'll see you next week. I don't know if Kenneck's going to be very hosting to your Ducks, but we'll see what happens. And
We'll see.
it's kind of fun though because of how much parity there is in college football. Because we're getting down to the time where we're only about 4 weeks away from the conference championship games.
Yep.
Those teams have 3 to 4 games left in the regular season. We're going to be at conference championship games, and we're about ready to start talking playoffs here soon and see who's in and who's not this year. So, but let's move on to the older gentlemen in the sport of football, the pros. And, we were talking Indianapolis last couple weeks ago and how tough they were. And Danny Dimes.
It's Danny Dimes time. I had this shirt for last week when they stomped 2 weeks ago. And of course, I had to wear it after the loss, but
And
it's more for my boy Jeff right here.
the Colts kind of laid an egg, and Danny Dimes looked like he thought he was wearing a Giants uniform the other day against the Steelers.
Yeah.
And played back to his time there and fumbling and interceptions, and
Fumbling and bumbling.
Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers got a big win. I did not see that one coming, guys.
No, I didn't either. But the other question of that side is Pittsburgh's defense legit as everyone says it is?
No, I don't think so. I don't think Pittsburgh's defense is as good as it was the last couple of years.
I think they win the North.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of people thinking Baltimore comes back and wins the North. But I don't see it. I don't see it, but they should win the North. But
There's only 2 games separating Baltimore and Pittsburgh right now, though. So, and there's a lot of football left.
yeah, exactly. And the parity carries on to the NFL this year.
Mhm.
It's just crazier.
Well-
But I do think Pittsburgh should probably win that North, but who knows?
You guys know as well as anybody that last year during the college football playoffs, I was kind of high on the Arizona State Sun Devils for one reason, and
Gotta boom!
what a shame it is to see that young man go down with that injury. And I know it's Jeff's
I miss him so much.
Giants
I
team,
miss him so much.
and Tyrone Tracy had a decent year last year, but Tyrone Tracy is not Cam Scatteroo. He does not give that spark to that Giants team. Jackson Dart's doing everything he can, but I got a feeling, Jeff, the Giants are pretty much done for the year now with Scat out and Malik Neighbors out and everything else. And it's a shame to see a rookie like that that's having, I'm not saying he's having a rookie of the year type year, but man, he was fun to watch.
Yeah.
Fun to watch.
Fun to watch.
Well, he's got the respect of everybody in the NFL.
Yeah.
Honestly, because look how many of the Eagles guys showed up to his hospital room and like wishing him luck and everything. And Zach Bond actually paid for a lot of his medical bills. So, that just shows he had respect from everybody in the NFL, not just the Giants.
Right.
So,
And, I think there is a mutual respect between all these NFL players. They know what risk they run every time they step on that field. It's a physical game. It's a contact. These guys are some of the biggest, strongest, fastest athletes in the world. And they do have that respect. They don't want to see anybody get hurt. They don't want to hurt somebody unless you're playing for Sean Payton or Buddy Ryan. You remember that day?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but we had some trades at the trade deadline. Nothing big, really, except for Sauce Gardner going to the Colts and their lineman from the Jets,
Quentin
Williams, going to the Ravens, right? No,
Cowboys.
Jerry Jones still out there trying to trade for people after he gets rid of probably one of the most elite defensive players we've seen in the last few years, and brings in Quentin Williams. Yeah, I didn't understand that move at the trade deadline. I thought maybe they would move Pickens to try to get some draft picks.
Yeah. Because Pickens isn't going to re-sign with them next year.
No.
He won't.
So what do you guys think about the trade deadline? Not a lot of big moves, but
The Jets are giving up.
Yes.
Brees Hall's pissed that he's the one left standing.
yeah, him and Garrett Wilson.
Him and Garrett Wilson. Yeah. I mean,
And there was a lot of talk the Chiefs were looking at trading for Brees Hall.
yeah.
mm-hmm.
I was really hoping they kind of would. There was nothing big, but you can tell the Jets are giving up. But almost like I bring basketball term, I like the Thunder in the NBA. Everyone, when they traded KD and Paul George and all them, like, what are we doing? And then now they're the youngest team and they just won the NBA championship. The Jets are stacked with picks now.
Oh,
They have
yeah.
two first rounders this year, 3 first rounders in a couple of years. I mean, they could be onto something. Just
Well, let me ask Brian and Jeff this question. Some of your big names, the Buffalo Bills, didn't really go after anybody.
No.
The Chiefs didn't go after anybody. Tampa Bay needed some help on the offensive line. They didn't go after anybody. The
The
Colts,
problem going after somebody is you got to give something up.
right?
And
I
when you're in the position of the Bills, the Chiefs, even the Buccaneers, you don't want to give nothing up. The only time you actually make a move in this situation is if you get involved in the fire sale. That the Jets had,
Yep.
and give up future draft picks.
Mhm.
But anyone asking for people right now, you're not in that talk.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of teams, and Brian, I don't know if you'll agree with me on this. A lot of these teams, though, when they're trading off some of their players, they want the draft picks over a player from the other team right now. It's not like it used to be where you would trade a player for a player or player for
Right.
two. Now it's draft picks everybody wants.
I agree with you. A lot of people are looking for the draft picks, but I like what the Eagles did. Honestly, they just shored up that defense. They got Jair Alexander for a 3rd-round pick,
Mm-hmm.
which is nothing for Jair Alexander. And then they got that Phillips kid from Miami, who was a number one pick, 4 years ago, something like that, just for that edge rush. And then they picked up Michael Carter II, just for another running back, but they didn't give up anything. They gave up very little. So, like them or hate them, the Eagles are just
Well, the majority of people hate the Eagles. I mean, let's just keep it real.
Let's just be real though. Howie Roseman is probably the best GM in football.
Oh,
He put look at his resume. He runs it like a fantasy football team. He does, and he makes it work.
I will agree with Brian for probably the first time since we've been doing the show. He is one of the better ones in the NFL. I will say that.
Who's better than he is?
Made some good moves to get that Eagles team better than they used to be. But look at Brett Veach in Kansas City. Brett Veach has made some great moves. I mean,
Isn't there a hater one?
the Eagles have won.
I need that right now from
The Eagles have won 1 Super Bowl in the last how many years? The Chiefs have won 3. Well, how many years are we going back?
2017. So that's not that long ago.
Right.
If you really think about it, in the last 10 years they won 2.
Yeah. And he was GM in that first one?
Yes, he's been the
I
GM.
know that he won 2 in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
But if we go 20 years, how many did they win?
I think 2.
2.
Okay.
30 years? 30 years? How many?
2.
Oh, 2. 2. Drew the life of the NFL. I mean, how many we got?
But
How many we got?
And
I expect the answer. I'm gonna have to insist.
but in the last 40 years, Presley, how many Super Bowls have your Cowboys
Oh,
in the last 20 years?
Oh, 0.
Yeah.
0.
But no, I will agree with you. He
I
is
don't know
one of
that I still want an answer.
for what?
How many Super Bowl has Philadelphia Eagles won in all time?
2.
2.
2. Which puts them where?
Dead last in the NFC East.
There we go. That's where I was
I was
going.
getting how many of the Giants won? 4. How many of the Chiefs won? 4.
How many of the Bucks won? 2. But they're a newer team.
They are a newer
Those
team.
teams have been around for a lot longer
Yeah,
than the
they
Bucks, okay?
Yeah.
And Mike Allstott helped them win. Yeah.
That's a tough win.
Real quick, to jump off the subject of football for 1 second. I don't know if any of you guys watch YouTube, but there is a Bob Does Sports Internet Invitational Golf Tournament going on right now. They had 48 people in this. They drafted teams, and it's kind of fun. If you haven't watched it, the videos, there's been 3 of them out. The 4th one comes out tomorrow. John Gruden played in this tournament. And one of the guys on his team in the original video was a golfer from Oklahoma, Luke Quan. He's a pretty good stick, pretty good golfer. Well, Luke overslept for his tee time on the first day. And they got penalized. They lost their match. It's kind of a Ryder Cup style match. So when they were going out for the afternoon, his whole team was just hating him with a passion. And they called Gruden out. They said, John, we want you to talk to Luke. We want you to do the. Gruden gave a speech, man. I was ready to grab clubs and go play golf. I mean, John Gruden, you just go to that clip, watch Gruden's pep talk on this team. And I mean, these guys look like they were ready to throw football helmets on and go play football. And some of these guys couldn't play football. But anyway, back on our topic here. The Bills Chiefs, big game Sunday afternoon. Bills come out 28-21. People are like, oh, is the Chiefs train derailed? They lose to the Bills every year in the regular season.
Yeah.
It does not matter
Yeah, pull up the playoff record.
what happens in the regular season. Josh Allen, you can say he pretty much owns Patrick in the regular season,
1000%. Yeah.
but when it comes down to crunch time in the playoffs, he cannot figure a way to beat him, whether it's home or away.
Well, he doesn't even get to play that game half the time. I mean, Cincinnati's knocked him off 2 of the last 4 years.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. I mean,
you can't even get to the big game. It causes a problem.
yep. So again, some Vikings beat the Lions last week. Didn't see that one coming.
No.
The Panthers go into Lambeau and beat Green Bay, who some people thought was one of the better teams in the league. We went in with 2 one-loss teams last week, the Packers and the Colts. Both of them got beat by teams.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, so are the Panthers for real right now? Are they on the climb up? Rico Dowdle actually looks like one of the best running backs in the league right now.
When it got to that Cowboys game, I just thought he had something to prove against Jerry, but then it's just carried on.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks legit.
There are no teams standing out.
No,
No teams standing out.
no, they're, in the last few years, we've been able to look at the Bills, the Ravens, the Chiefs out of the AFC, the Packers, or not, the Lions, the Eagles,
Bucks.
the Rams maybe sometimes, some years, the Bucks a couple of years. And we can say, man, those teams look strong right now. Right now, picking NFL games, it's like flip a coin. Oh, yep, I'm gonna take them.
It's hard. It's
Yeah.
hard. The fan favorites, though, as the populace, it's like everyone wants to see a Colts Buccaneers Super Bowl.
I'd go for it.
They don't want
Yeah, I mean,
they don't want any of the usual suspects there.
Yeah. Well, you look at the Major League Baseball playoffs. I wanted to see the Mariners go to the World Series this
Yeah.
year. I really did. They are the only Major League Baseball team to never play in the World
Yeah, but
Series.
then you'd have to watch that greenish blue color for yes.
I would have
Wonderful
been
uniform.
I would have been with it because they're a young team. They've got some good young talent. But yeah, you're right. It's I'm
it's not the
really,
worst thing in the world for football if something like that happened. I mean, it'd be cool to see.
I mean, I know there's some people not in this room, but on this call, that would like to see a Bronco Eagle Super Bowl.
There are a lot of Broncos fans coming around. I mean, Jesus. And Zach just popped on. You're just in time to hear you say some shit like that.
There you go, Zach.
Hey, I'm not gonna like this guy, but on the other hand, every time I get to know him a little better, I find out he's really on the opposite side of me.
Zach, I gotta ask you a question, man. Are you guys out in Colorado? Are you tired of Prime? Is it time for him to go move on? Or are you thinking to stick behind him? Is he gonna turn around that Colorado Buffalo program? Or is he just gonna coast out the rest of his contract and then walk away?
I
ask that.
honestly got a take on that. I don't think that he coaches another year. I think his health is going to take him out of college, of coaching in general.
Last year though too, after he loses the boys, no one thought he'd be here this year, and then still.
He didn't just lose his boys, he lost half his foot, didn't he?
Well, he's mad missing half his foot for a while.
No, didn't he get more of a cut off?
Oh yeah, he got more to cut off.
No,
But they did almost beat Georgia Tech at the beginning of the year. And look at Georgia Tech. But they haven't done anything since.
They did. But here's my other
Did
take.
Colorado take down the jersey
Of
after
Shador.
he leaves? Yeah.
I don't know. That's what I'm wondering. If Prime leaves, do they take down? I can see him leaving Hunters up.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can see him leaving Hunters up.
he's a hiding trophy.
But let's talk a little bit about Shador. Are we gonna see him in the next couple weeks in Cleveland?
I think that coach hates him. I don't think there's.
I know he does, but-
I did.
Let's put it this way, Braden, you're the coach of the Browns.
Yeah.
You want to stay a head coach. Management pulls you into the office and says, okay, Braden, we're done. The fans want to see Shador. They want him out there. We're out of the playoffs. We're out of all this. The worst he can do is lose every game and we get a top high draft pick. We need to see him on the field now, or you're gone. What do? I'm just saying.
Yeah, you gotta
Yeah, I think you start getting my resume together.
Well, you do, but you're maybe you take the Penn State or the Auburn job then.
Yeah.
But which would be better than putting Shador out there.
But if you put him out and he fails miserably,
Then you say,
like everybody thinks he will,
Then you say, I told you so.
then you can go back to management and say, this is why I had Gabriel in there.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Dylan Gabriel is the future, because I honestly think even though Cleveland wasted 2 draft picks on quarterbacks this year, they draft another one next year in the draft.
Too early
Yeah.
draft I've seen is
Because Bill's not panning out. Really.
No,
But the jersey-
Dylan, even the Oregon fan over there said Dylan will not make it in the NFL.
Nope.
We don't do it.
I
All of us
and
think we know that Shadur's not going to make it. I don't even know if they'll give him a chance.
all I see.
If you took the state of Ohio and combined Cleveland's defense and Cincinnati's offense, you'd finally have a good football team.
yeah, you would.
But even we have to watch 2 mediocre teams because the Bengals can't stay healthy and Cleveland's just Cleveland.
How bad is it in Cincinnati? I don't know if you guys watched that game. They scored what, 10 or 14 points in the last minute of the game,
Yeah.
take a lead, and then they give up a 50-yard touchdown to a tight end at the end of that game to lose it to the Bears. And
Yeah.
I'm still not sold on Caleb Williams as a quarterback.
No.
That
No, not either.
rookie running back that took over for DeAndre Swift last week lit it up.
Yeah.
179 yards rushing. Dang. So I don't know. You see a lot of rookies this year getting a lot of major roles. Quinshon Judkins in Cleveland. Trevion Henderson, bless you. Trevion Henderson in New England. I can't remember the kid's name. Kyle Minot. No, she sang the Locomotion back in the 80s.
Locomotion.
From there, Aston Genty, you're seeing a good crop of young running backs coming into the league. Cam Scatterboot, until he got hurt. You're seeing a good crop of good running backs, young running backs coming into the league. And some of the old school guys like Barkley, Henry, and they're kind of starting to fade off. I mean, Barkley's not that old yet, but the toll he has taken from how many carries he has had over his career so far has got to be.
He's got no pussy to begin with. He kept getting hurt.
Well, that's because he didn't like playing for New York.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh hell, you got hurt. You got hurt.
Both said that.
It's
Every injury with the Giants was like a deep tissue leg injury.
Saquon was on the IR with the hangnail on his.
How do you say you don't want to play for a team without saying you don't want to play for a team?
We watched that documentary on Saquon on Prime. They have one on him, and he's literally on the phone with the Giants GM, more worried about the Madden game he's playing than what this guy's saying to him, because you could tell there's no chance he was going back to New York.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no hope he was going.
No,
I got a question for everyone, because my son keeps wanting to call me out on this. So we're gonna have this discussion. Has there ever been as good as any college team? I don't care which college team you pick, the best of all of them that could ever beat a pro team.
No.
No.
trying to think of some of the college teams that used to play.
No,
If you take is this all time, anytime?
but ask me a team. You can't do
No,
all stars.
no. But I'm saying any
One
pro
time.
team.
Now let's just keep it in the modern day.
Okay. So a few years ago, the Lions went winless,
Yep.
had a very horrible team,
Yep.
and I'm gonna say, man, I think it
They
would have been.
still would have beaten Alabama by 2-3 touchdowns.
You think?
I do.
Yeah.
Even though Alabama was loaded with future NFL players,
Yep.
they were younger. You think they beat them by 2 to 3 touchdowns, huh?
Yep. I
just
don't think that there ever was or will be a college team that can beat an NFL team.
well, everybody in the NFL is a professional for a reason.
Yeah.
That's right.
You know,
There's
and
only
like
56 players on an NFL team.
even
True.
if you take Alabama, LSU when they won it with
Burrow.
Burrow, I still don't think they can beat an NFL team. I just
Joe
don't.
Burrow, Jamar Chase, and Justin Jefferson on that team.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous, but yeah,
But
yeah, I don't.
they were playing with the Jets. They were playing with the Browns.
No,
Jets this year might lose to one.
No.
I think Nebraska Wesleyan might take them down.
I don't say that.
I,
I mean, yeah, like right now, you take Ohio State versus Jets. I still think the Jets beat them by, like you said, 2 or 3 touchdowns.
so back in the day, and Brian, you and Braden are way too young to remember this. At the end of the season, they always played a college all-star versus a pro team. And it was usually the winner of the Super Bowl. The Steelers played in it a couple times. And the Steeler or the pro team would always win, even against the college all-stars. But back then, football was different. Back then, those college boys didn't want anything to do with some of those guys that were Mean Joe Green and Jack Lambert and Jack Ham, and
Oh, because the pro game was a very, very physical game.
it was violent.
That's right.
You know, any of those guys from back then played now, they'd be ejected in the first series because
Right.
they didn't care if they hit that quarterback and how hard they hit him and how hard they threw him to the ground. They were hitting him.
And that was the point, wasn't it?
Yeah. And now it's two-hand touch on these quarterbacks, and then they're not down, even if you wrap them up, and they can break free, a la Eli Manning in the Super Bowl.
And they can fake slide and then go.
Yep.
I mean, you should be allowed to do that shit.
Okay, did you see Josh Allen the other day slide, and the chief guy came running by him, and his hand grazed Allen's helmet, and he just snapped his head back really hard.
Even as a Chiefs fan, I said, even though you're playing Patrick Mahomes, you don't have to act like Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
So,
So,
man. Yeah. Come on.
to answer your question, Jeff, probably not. But there have been some very, very bad pro teams and some very good college teams. I think you might, if you have the right matchup in the right environment, you might get a close game. You might get
But there's still a gap.
a 10-point game.
There's still a gap that
There is.
that's unsurpassable.
Yeah.
If we're talking about 2 53-man rosters, you have an NFL team, which is a minimum most time of 4 or 5-star athlete. And then you talk about a college team that half of them are walk-ons. Half of them are, things like that. So there's a gap.
I was trying to think back. It was either Clemson or Alabama a few years ago that had like 7 defensive players go in the first round of the draft.
it was Alabama.
Yeah. And that was the team I was trying to think of because they were loaded. They were stacked and loaded with NFL talent on that defensive line, on the defensive team. But would they have been able to keep up with the pros, who some of those guys are 5-6 years older, stronger, bigger, faster? So, but yeah, I'll agree with you, Jeff. I don't think a college team could beat an NFL team. Unless we go back to the very first Buccaneers year where they really sucked. And
Yeah, you gotta go back to where the distinction between pro and college was a small line in the sand.
but I will say this. I wish the pro would adapt the college rule on overtime.
Yes.
And also the kickoff rule for college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I think the kickoff rule should be all the way around.
Yeah.
I do agree college overtime is way more exciting.
Yeah.
More fair and more exciting.
Mhm.
It's absolutely ridiculous to me in pro sports we have ties. Come on, man. Find a way to where you don't have a tie. It's ridiculous.
The
Yeah.
But that's
only
where
thing I can say about that is these pro teams are now playing at the minimum 17 games a year, then into the playoffs. You know, some of these teams could play 4 games in the playoffs, 21 games of throwing your body around. Yeah, and then you go into on overtime and you got to just keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I can see where maybe that toll would be a little.
But if you bring in the college rule, though, it's not as big of a toll. In the NFL, you're going the whole length of the field. When you go to a college rule in the NFL, if they don't get first two, then you have to go for two. Then it's only 2 point conversion.
Right.
It's not as much of a toll. That's why I agree with you. They need to bring college overtime rule to NFL
Mhm.
and screw the tie. Ties
I,
is
s-
forcer.
I say you do the college rule,
Like,
but you move them back to the half yard line or to midfield
You have to
instead
put
of the
at least a 40.
Yeah, 30.
yeah, at least to 40 somewhere in there.
Because
But
Cam Little can kick it 68 yards now, you know?
yeah, that was wild.
NFL record.
That would have been good from 70
Oh,
because
yeah.
Like, he's
he
And I think you're
He
going to
did
see
make
that
70,
mark
yeah.
keep moving back in the next few years. I think, I don't know what the difference is now compared to then, but man, these guys have some legs now.
Yeah.
Tailgate.
Could be helium in the football. So,
Hot in football.
Well-
What happened to Colorado?
NFL this week, we're gonna see where we split again. A lot of rumor floating around, just to bring it up, college game day down in Lubbock at Texas Tech. Chiefs are on a bye. Could Patrick Mahomes be the guest picker down there? That's what a lot of people are saying. And
I
it'd
think
be kind of fun to see him on game day, and
I would.
hopefully McAfee would just,
Give him a big hug.
yeah.
Hug him
that's
and
it.
squeeze
That's it.
him
Gonna
and
do
pet
it.
him.
Well, Herb Street was the one that wanted him, because if you watched last week, Herb Street was like, they were picking the Texas Tech and K-State game, and they all picked Tech, and Herb Street goes, this is a game that will be an upset, K-State will win it, because we want to set it up next week for BYU, Texas Tech in Lubbock, Patrick Mahomes on a bye, maybe we can get him on as our guest picker, and everything else, but we'll see what happens with that one and see where they're at, but a lot of great football this weekend. College is getting down to only 3-4 games left. Nebraska travels out to the West Coast this week to take on the Bruins of UCLA. Oregon, Brian's Oregon
TJ.
Ducks. With that?
TJ.
With TJ Lateef under center or behind center. Brian's Oregon Ducks travel into kind of this area, Brian. Are you going to go over to the game? Oh, you're
No.
out. Oh, never mind. You stay out there. You go to Iowa.
I've never been to that
What-
field.
If you were going to that game this week, Iowa, Oregon, and you had to pick a team to root for,
Oh, that's easy. I pick Iowa.
would you?
Oh, absolutely.
Wow.
Braden?
That's a really tough one. But yeah, probably Iowa.
Oregon's still an outsider.
They're not.
Little West Coast gay people.
Hey, they beat you guys in the Big Ten last year. In their first year in the Big Ten.
They did what?
They won the Big Ten in their first year in the Big Ten, so
Then they lost to the Big Ten champions that should have been.
I said they won the Big Ten. I didn't say they didn't lose in the playoffs.
And now we're national champions.
That was national champions.
And who Nebraska almost beat.
Yep.
Yeah. Guys, most teams will have 2 to 3 teams left, or 2 to 3 games left next week after this weekend. So next week, when we talk college, I want to see who we picked our top 4 semifinalists for the college football playoff before the season started.
Yeah.
Brian, I don't know if you can go back and rewrite those down, because Jeff did, I think, but I don't know if he still has it here.
I think it's in this book right here.
No, let's see.
I already know one of my picks. It's gonna be really bad.
I know mine. I know one of mine that went haywire.
Mine might. Well, it was bad. I have 2 actually. Really.
No, I didn't know.
I know one of mine's way out. So
I'll look around. I know it's in here somewhere. I didn't take it out of here.
Anyway, if Jeff can't,
Look.
Brian, maybe you can go back and look and see if you can find out who we all picked. I know one of my teams I picked was K-State. Goodbye. They're done.
Yeah.
See ya.
I picked Okie State, I think.
Yeah, I think you did. Braden,
That one's way gone.
South Carolina.
oh yeah, you did pick South Carolina, Brian Jr.
Yep.
I
did. I know one of them.
There it is.
Oh God, yeah.
The final four.
Oh,
Told you I had it.
So read off Braden's.
Braden's got Penn State,
Done.
Georgia,
Could be.
South Carolina,
Done.
Nebraska.
Done.
Oh, Brian. You stayed with the usuals. Georgia, Ohio State, Oregon, and Okie State.
Yeah, one of them's way gone.
I've only got one left too.
And you went with Penn State, Georgia, Texas, and Kansas State.
Too possible.
Me, Nebraska, Penn State, Alabama, and Utah.
You got one left.
Yeah, one left too.
Utah's got a chance still.
No. After they lost to BYU,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
and they had another loss too, I believe.
Well, Utah's got 2 losses.
Yeah. And I don't think a 2-loss Big 12 team gets in unless they win the title, but
You gotta get the title, and that title game is gonna be a
that's our Super Bowl
one-loss
pick
team.
right there. Jeff, what was your Super Bowl pick this year?
Detroit Bengals.
Yeah, how's that looking for you?
Yeah, that's not good. Not good at all.
Mine's not either.
Commanders and Chiefs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels.
Braden's got Detroit and the Chiefs.
Could still see that.
Brian, he's got the Buccaneers and the Chiefs.
Yeah.
That's still possible.
Is that who you picked, Brian, the Buccaneers?
I thought I did a rematch.
Huh?
I thought I did a rematch of the Super Bowl
You
last
did a
year,
rematch.
That's what I thought. which is still possible too. Which is still possible.
But
So
guys, it's been another great. Did Zach ever get back to us on the?
Yeah, he did. I was gonna
What
read
did
it
he
out.
say? I want to hear before we go.
Yes, his chance was last year, and he doesn't have it anymore. He changed the program, and the Buffaloes were super hyped for Dion to come in. But this year, he's had multiple games that we took losses, and they walked into the locker room at the end of the game with 2 or 3 timeouts, twice in a single score game? ? But I see Shadur getting a start coming in the next few weeks. But I think this is Dion's final season of coaching, unfortunately.
I like that. Zach, Colorado fan, but he's a realistic Colorado fan.
He is.
You know, he's
And
a
he
realistic
picks
Colorado
His
fan.
picks are awesome.
Yeah,
He's killing us.
yeah,
Killing us.
yeah. So, oh, by the way, guys, Friday night I will be back home in the Devaney Center. Wrestling opens up.
Yeah.
Go Big Red!
Red, go Big Red, and the you guys get a chance, you're gonna want to come up because we've picked up our heavyweight for this year,
Yeah,
AJ
okay.
Ferrari.
Hey,
And if never heard anything about AJ Ferrari, look him up. Like Kurt Signetti said, Google him
Yeah.
and look at him. One of the best things he ever did, he was going to transfer to Iowa a couple years ago, and he was there wrestling with them. And he won a match. The entire crowd booed him. And now this is a heavyweight. One of his signature moves is doing the splits afterwards and posing. Well, he did that, but he told all the Iowa fans they were number 1 in his own little way. And it was quite impressive. But he is a talent. He's injured right now. I don't think he's going to go this Friday. But Nebraska returning 8 All-Americans on the wrestling program. They had their highest finish ever last year in the NCAAs with
And
2
they
national
won-
champions.
They won their opener.
They won the Navy Classic,
Yeah.
which is like 4 years in a row now they've won that. We've got defending Big Ten champion Brock Hardy coming back at 141. We've got defending national champion Antrell Taylor from Omaha coming back at 157. Just a good group of guys coming in here this year. It's going to be fun. I can't wait. We got the Black Knights of Army coming in this Friday night. So you're not doing anything, you want to come up, you want good college wrestling, come on up to the Vantage Center in Lincoln, Nebraska, 6 o'clock start time for that one. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, but guys, we'll be back next Wednesday night. Hopefully nobody will be sick. Everybody will be back. Brian, will you be in Colorado still?
Yes.
Sorry.
And I will be wearing an Eagles shirt next week, because I owe it.
But not with your Giants hat. I want you to wear that one. Can you do that for me?
Yes.
You look like
Yes.
you look like Bear.
I can do it.
All right. Well, we hope that your
Tom
college.
Landry.
Bear Bryant's a better coach than Tom Landry.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, we hope that your NFL team, we hope that your college team have a good weekend this week, and we hope that they win. Guys, it's a fun year.
Yeah,
It's a fun
absolutely.
year.
Absolutely. And on Wing of Prayer, go Big Red! Go Big Red!
Brian, give it to us one time. There it is.
There it is.
The old
Yeah.
O opening. Anyway, so
The Gallagher.
Yeah. We are glad you all decided to spend a little bit of your week with us here on Tailgate Talk Nebraska. Please, again, if you like what you're seeing, if you're having fun with us, we don't know everything. We just like to talk about different aspects of college football, pro football, and we might throw a few other sports in there here and there. We love it. We hope you enjoy your time with us. Please invite your friends, hit that subscribe button, join us. We're on our way. We're trying to get to
1,000.
We're trying to get to 1,000 right now. We're over halfway there, and we would love to see more and more people start to enjoy this. If we can get to 1,000, that's going to open up some more things about bringing some maybe guests in via satellite or Zoom or whatever you call it.
Interaction with you guys.
Yeah, we love that. We love that. We're trying to throw that out there to you guys. To
Had a
see.
great night in the comment section tonight. A lot of people.
Yes.
It was awesome.
Does everybody think TJ's wrestling?
No.
No, I didn't think so. So, but anyway, have a great week. Have a great weekend of college football. Have a great weekend of pro football. If you're playing fantasy, I hope you win, unless your name's Presley. And we will see you all next Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Central Time, right back here on Tailgate Talk Nebraska. You've been watching Tailgate Talk Nebraska, and
We know
We know
sports.
sports.